بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ألهمنا مراشد أمورنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. With regards to a few lessons from the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina Munawwara, after the building of the masjid, which is called Masjidun Nabawi, which was not meant as an issue only of one part of history, but it would remain till the ending. It was going to be a masjid that was going to create masajid. It was going to be a masjid that the whole world, when they would come later on, they would just see that masjid and they would think of the first era. That when they established that masjid, it was like, this Islam is not coming to an end. So many battles also took place. But from the battles that Quran spoke about, and those battles which were going to give a message to the world till the ending, one of the most famous, and perhaps the most famous, is known as the Battle of Badr. It is regarding this battle that Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says in Quran, "In tastaftihu faqad ja'akumul fath." That if up till now you have been looking for a decision, because the Quraysh would always say, like, where will the small group ever get strength? And they knew the truthfulness of Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But whenever he would say that one day it would be everywhere, this deen, so they would mock at it. And sometimes they would say that if he is on the truth, then show us a sign. So Almighty Allah said, if you are looking for a sign, here's your sign. And that sign of Badr will continue throughout history. Badr wasn't the defeat of Kufr completely, but it was a defeat of Kufr at the time when the Kuffar never thought they could be defeated. And in Islam, Allah Tabarak Ta'ala made it like this. There will be many Badrs. When the enemy can't understand, how can a small group manage to keep the enemy out? Gaza, how many years they have tried to break it. Every time when Israel has to retreat, it's a message of Badr. That what do you think is keeping these people protected? In tastaftihu, if you are looking for a decision, faqad ja'akumul fath. Then here is the decision. وَإِن تَعُودُوا نَعُدْ وَإِن تَنْتَهُوا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Now if you'll stop and you'll pull back, you'll understand that this is the truth, and leave it, then that will be best for you. Whichever group of Kufr pulled back, and they said, let's leave the Muslims as they are, Allah Tabarak Ta'ala blessed them with the chance to see Islam close, and many of them fell in love with Islam. وَإِن تَعُودُوا نَعُدْ. And then there were those who said, we are going to uproot this, and the next generation will never see an Islam. So Allah Tabarak Ta'ala said, Na'ud. How we had done in one Badr. He was also a leader who wanted to uproot. You are also a leader. And how many leaders have been uprooted already? But Islam just carries on. وَلَن تُغْنِيَ عَنْكُمْ فِيَتُكُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَوْ كَثُرَتْ. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says, no matter how big your army is, it will not help you against Allah. Meaning this deen will just carry on. So Badr, what happened was, there was that caravan of the Quraysh. Abu Sufyan was the leader. He was very well versed, or he was a master in warfare, in following and knowing if you're being followed, in getting the message, in hearing of a message, in investigating. So with this caravan that he was going, Allah's Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got the message in Medina Munawwara that 34 people. A caravan of 34, but a lot of goods. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made a quick tashkil and 300 men were ready. This was not Medina Munawwara completely. Why he took 300 for 34? Normally to attack 34 he would have taken 5 or 10. 300 was taken so that there will be no bloodshed at all. They would surround the caravan. 34 people will hand over immediately. They will let those go or they will ransom them off. He did not want bloodshed, he wanted the caravan. Because of that, they hardly went out with any horse. There was no need for a horse at the moment. It was, we will surround it, we will take the caravan, we will return. Abu Sufyan got the message. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says, everything happens on the decision of Allah. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala would speak about this here. وَلَوْ تَوَاعَدْتُمْ لَاخْتَلَفْتُمْ فِي الْمِيعَادِ. That if both parties had to decide, let us meet at Badr, Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says, none would have come. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would not have gone with that small group, because if you knew there's a huge 1,000, you are not going to take 300 and risk everyone's life. And the Quraysh, they got the news. Abu Sufyan found out, or he heard, that a group is coming for the caravan. So he decided to go and see, is it the truth? And at the same time, he sent a person that you go already to Makkah. That we will not wait to confirm it, it will be too late. You go to Makkah, and loudly you make an announcement that it's too late already. So when this person enters Makkah Mukarramah, he cuts the nose of his camel, he takes the blood and he puts it all over his front and his back. He rubs his shirt, and he starts screaming, the caravan, you too late. Already like the blood is already on me, like as though they attacked. So the Quraysh got. They woke up in Josh and they left very fast. One group perhaps stayed back, everybody else, you see blood. Before leaving, there was two dreams that were seen. One was by Atika, the aunt of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. She saw a dream that a man from on top of the mountain, it's called Abu Qubais, Makkah Mukarramah's mountain, he threw a rock. And the rock, when it hit the ground, it broke into small pieces, and that small pieces moved, and it like entered into every tent of the Quraysh, or every tribe of the Quraysh, whatever it was. It just, that rocks were just rolling. They were very good in interpreting dreams. They already understood what it means. A rock breaking, rock means strong. The rock breaking is, no matter how strong you are going to be brought into pieces. And entering into every means when the dead bodies are going to be coming back, then each tribe will be taking some of them, because death will hit all of you. That the man of your tribe and the man of your tribe and the man of your tribe, it's going to go everywhere. So destruction to all the clans, all the tents. Abdul Muttalib's grandson, he had a dream. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is also the grandson of Abdul Muttalib. This was another grandson. He had a dream that a man was on a horse, and he was riding, perhaps this was an angel. So he sees the man on the horse looking at him. And he comes where the entire Quraysh army is. And then he makes an announcement. He has with him one camel. So he's speaking to this grandson and he says, Abu Jahl and Umayyah bin Khalaf and Utbah, Shayba, they were like the leaders of the Quraysh. Very important people. They were well protected. He started taking their names, one after the other. And at the ending he says, all of them have been killed. And the person looks at him like, the best of Makkah. And then he just hits the neck of the camel, the whole neck comes off. And all that blood now starts, when a camel, if you slaughter it, it's just blood. So the blood just started spilling. And as the blood is spilling, it's hitting all the tents. Meaning blood is going to hit all the tents now. So he told it to them. And Abu Jahl then said, now, first Abdul Muttalib's one son became a Nabi. He said, now another son is becoming a Nabi, grandson. Meaning for him it was a mock, like that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made a claim of Nubuwah, he was a Nabi. Now, this is also a grandson, and he said, I had a dream. The others were very worried of this dream. That what? But Abu Jahl, when Allah Tabarak Ta'ala wants destruction to come to kufr, even if all the signs come, they will pull themselves. So already they saw two dreams. Umayyah bin Khalaf, he was one of the leaders of the Quraysh. His wife refused to let him go. The only reason she would refuse, she was convinced if you're going, you're not coming back. Sa'ad bin Mu'az radiallahu anh was his friend in the times of ignorance. When he came for Umrah, Umayyah bin Khalaf and him had a small tiff. So at that time he said to Umayyah bin Khalaf, I heard from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you're going to die in the battle. His wife remembered even that sentence. So much of conviction they had. So she told her husband, do you not remember what Sa'ad said to you? What Muhammad said about you? You're going to die in the battle. He never wanted to go out. Abu Jahl came and said, since when you became a coward? And he had to tell him so many times that finally he got on his horse. He knew, I'm going towards death. So much. وَلَوْ تَوَاعَدْتُمْ, had you been given the chance to make decisions, Allah Ta'ala says, this Badr would never have taken place. It was a lesson also to the world that many a time things happen and we cannot understand that why did it happen. So as they went to Badr, everything was like against. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam reached there, 300 for 34, so you're not even well prepared. Allah Ta'ala said, إِذْ أَنْتُمْ بِالْعُدْوَةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ بِالْعُدْوَةِ الْقُصْوَى وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ. You were on the side which was closer to Medina. They were on the side that was further. But the caravan was even further than that. Abu Sufyan, once he got the news, he sent the message. And the second is, he said, let him go and investigate. So he came to a place around Badr, where two of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's scouts had already been sent. They were to see if the caravan is coming. So he himself went. He met one old man there. He asked him, in this area, has anyone come past? So he said, no, only two people. They came for a while and they went away. So he said, where did they stand? He pointed, he went where the caravan, where the people stood, means nearby would be the camels. And normally when a camel is not being rid, that's the time when it will relieve itself. He went looking for the stool. This was how they were in that era. Even from the stool of the camel they could now pick up. So he went, he found the stool. Now he started moving his hand in the stool. Cleaning, and then he found in the stool, he found a date put. Kajur, the put of it. He looked at it and he said, this is the feed of the people of Medina. Meaning only in Medina is there so much of dates that sometimes people, when the dates are now not so good to use, they take those dates and they give it to the camels to eat. So the camel will eat it, the put will be in its stomach, it will come out in the stool. In the stool he picked up. He said, this is the proof that the news that has reached me, they are coming. Because if the scouts are here, it means they're going to come now in this direction. So he took his caravan, and on a very difficult road he took it along the seas. And when he knew now I'm safe now, he sent a message back that tell the Quraysh, go back. Don't come. So when the news reached them that the Quraysh, the caravan is safe, amongst the Quraysh again, one was the dreams. They never want to come out. And now when the news reached them, why must we go? There was a person by the name of Umair al-Jumahi. When they came close to the Muslims, he said that I heard there were only 300, but it's impossible. Where will 300 come for a battle? He said, I'm sure they planned reinforcements. Someone is hiding. So I will, and he was a master scout. He said, I will go around the army. And I will find where they are hiding their other reinforcements. And then we will know are they 300 or not. But when he came back, he said, there is no one but 300. So they were happy. And then he said, but I'm telling you one thing. I saw camels, but on top of camels I saw death. That was his words. I saw camels, and on top of the camel I saw death. He said, these people are such that each one of them will not allow himself to die until he lets one of us die. So he said, even if we kill all 300 of them, it will mean first 300 of ours have to die. If 300 of our people die, he said, what's the benefit of living after that? So many of our people died. He said, let's go back. Again, Abu Jahl said, no way. Hakim bin Hizam, radiyallahu anh, at that time he was with the mushrikeen. He also did not want this battle. They could see it already that this is a group that is death. They will kill and they will die. So he went to another leader, Utbah bin Rabi'ah. He also died in the battle. And he said to him that the only reason we are angry at the moment is there was a previous battle It was in the months in which fighting was prohibited. A Muslim caravan had been sent out. They were told by Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, only see, don't attack. But they found an opportunity, and the Sahabi never realized that the month, which is called the months in which at that time fighting was prohibited, he wasn't aware that the month had entered, because he got to do with the moon. So he felt it was still the last day of the previous month. And an arrow was shot and someone died. And the mushrikeen made it a very big thing amongst the Arabs, that look at these people, even in the months where you can't fight, they fight also. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was quiet for a while. He was not very happy. And the news was spreading everywhere that they fight, whereas they're supposed to be holding up the most. And then a verse of Quran came down, that indeed fighting in these months is a very big thing, very bad. But fitna and kufr is even worse. That Sahabi who took part in this, he was so sad, because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not even want to look at him. How could you fight in this month? But when Allah Tabarak Ta'ala knows His servants, even an error by Almighty Allah brings wahi. To say it was an error of his, but kufr and fitna, that's even worse. But the Quraysh kept this. So that person was killed. Most likely his name was Amr bin al-Hadrami. So they said, we're going for his blood. So Hakim bin Hizam told Utbah bin Rabi'ah that if you're only after the blood of Amr al-Hadrami, then why don't you just pay the blood money? Now to pay it is a lot. 100 camels must be given. He says, you rather pay it, you will save everyone today. Utbah bin Rabi'ah also wanted it. He knew if this battle take place, we go on. So he sends Hakim bin Hizam that if you can convince Abu Jahl. And Abu Jahl was sitting, his brother, the brother of the one who died, Amir bin al-Hadrami, was also sitting. And others were sitting. Hakim bin Hizam said to him that we will give you 100 camels. That's the blood money. Now what's the issue? But when Allah Tabarak Ta'ala wants something to happen, it was going to happen. Everything was like stopping this battle. Everything. They never wanted to fight. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahaba never knew we're coming for a battle. When the Muslims reached, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam now thought that we only came out for a caravan. We lost the caravan. So again he had to make a mashwara. The people of Medina Munawwara had made a promise, in Medina Munawwara we will protect you with our lives. And there was a huge group. But now the huge group wasn't there. So first he looked, and one Sahabi from the Muhajirin, Miqdad bin Aswad, stood up, radiyallahu anhu. And he gave a khutbah. In the khutbah he said that we will not be like the Banu Israel. When Musa alayhi salatu wasalam looked at them, they said, you and your Allah go and fight. And when the battle is done, then come and fetch us. He said, we will not do that. We are ready to go. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam smiled. But he wanted the Ansar to speak. Mus'ab, Sa'd bin Mu'az radiallahu anhu, we spoke about him previously. He looked and he said, oh Allah's Nabi, it seems you want to know what's in our hearts. So then he spoke. He said, we pledged allegiance to you because we knew you to be the truth. When you are the truth, whatever you want, we with you. He said, even if you go into the ocean, you will not find one of us staying back. We'll go in the ocean with you. And then he gave a small khutbah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's face just started glowing. This was the Sahaba. Now when the army comes out, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam stopped them on the first well of Badr. That was like the furthest from the Quraysh, furthest water. He stopped them. And they said, we will camp here. So a Sahabi by the name of Hubab al-Munzir, and this was the adab of Sahaba radiallahu anhu. And look at what it was even in that time. He said, oh Allah's Nabi, our camping here, is it because of revelation? Or is it because of a thought that you had that this will be good for the battle? So much like. Because if it's revelation, then I won't say anything like. But if it's not revelation, then I can give an opinion and you decide. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said it's a thought. Then he said that I feel that this is not the best place to camp. We rather take our army even more further. The enemy has not reached. And we will go to the last waters, meaning the waters closest to the enemy. And whatever water is before us, we will close it up. So if the enemy needs water to drink, they can't get water. And if the battle carries on for long, we will have water. and we will carry on drinking, but they must not get water. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam smiled at him and he said, very good, right, let's do it. So they write under this that even at the time of war, even at that time they knew their limits. And they were also knew that in front of the Nabi of Allah, everyone has been given a right to talk. But they would always ask, wahi? When it was wahi, even if it was against every law, then they would say, sami'na wa ata'na. And when it was not wahi, then they would put forth a suggestion. If it was accepted, they would be happy. And if not, then they would know, I gave my suggestion and Allah's Nabi made a decision. And now they camped, and the enemy came. On 1,000 on that side, 300 on this side. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sent a small group. As they were scouting, they saw 2 people who were fetching water for the Quraysh. So they caught them, they brought them. He asked them, how many are you? So they said, we're very huge. He said, what's the meaning of huge? He said, huge. He said, how many? He said, I don't know. So he said, how many camels do you all cut every day? So the person looked and he said, some days we cut 9 camels, some days 10 camels. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, so the army is 900 or 1,000. Imagine now, you think about it. 1 camel, 100 people were eating. 1 camel. They were good eaters, like. Or otherwise maybe a lot of meat was wasted. But Allah's Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was like unique. Small things, and he would work out. They knew the number also. It was not easy. They had 200 horses. The Muslims hardly had. This was a battle where everything was against the people of Islam. Everything. Allah Ta'ala says, وَلَوْ تَوَاعَدْتُمْ لَاخْتَلَفْتُمْ فِي الْمِيعَادِ وَلَكِنْ لِيَقْضِيَ اللَّهُ أَمْرًا كَانَ مَفْعُولًا. This was so that Allah can let that matter happen which had to happen. لِيَهْلِكَ مَنْ هَلَكَ عَنْ بَيِّنَةٍ وَيَحْيَى مَنْ حَيَّ عَنْ بَيِّنَةٍ. So that group will now be destroyed who had to be destroyed after seeing a clear proof. And those that have to live will live, but they'll also see the clear proof. And that's what happened in this battle. Those that had to go, were going to go. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam then asked this person who was caught, who you all came with? Like, who's in there? So he started taking the names. He said, Utbah is there, Shayba is there, Abu Jahl is there. As he's giving the names, Umayyah bin Khalaf is there. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, today Makkah has thrown out the best that it has. Meaning the leaders are here. That was Badr. The leaders came out. And Badr was at such a place, so as Abu Jahl was going, he passed by one friend of his. So his friend sent a message, if you need extra, I will send extra also, soldiers. So Abu Jahl said that, we got so many today, so many. Look at his sentence. He said, if we are fighting Allah, then no matter how huge army we get, we will not manage to fight Allah. And if we are not fighting Allah, then our army is more than sufficient. And then he said, and you will see me coming back. And I will stop at Badr, and here we will have the party. The alcohol, the girls, because Badr was like a location where people would come and they would have functions. It was like a picnic area, a park. So Badr was like a place where people would sit on the mountains and they could actually see the whole. Because if you know Badr, how it is, that sand also is very soft in that area. Very hard to move through it. But it was like an area where you can. So the news normally would spread very fast. He said, we will make our picnic here. And we will make such a party that all the Arabs will learn, don't ever mess with the Quraysh after today. That was Badr. When that destruction was going to come in Badr, وَيَحْيَى مَنْ حَيَّ عَنْ بَيِّنَةٍ. Whoever had to live after that would live, but he would remember that there was a Badr. But the message of Badr was not only for Medina Munawwara. The message of Badr was till the day of Qiyamah. That every group of kuffar who will come, he must understand that how one Badr happened, there will be many more Badrs. Whenever the Muslim will look the weakest, and without any support, without any weapon, such a battle will take place that will make the story spread in the world. That is the ghalba of Islam. It has happened in the past, in our recent time when Afghanistan stood up against the Russian Empire, and now recently when America had to come out of Afghanistan. It's the same story like the past. Even Russia came out, they also would never say, we defeated. They were defeated. Because you don't leave ever until you have to leave. America will never take the word defeated. But when they leave, what the people of Afghanistan will say? That you came here so long with all your weapons, all your men, all your might, you had to run. We're still here. But a small group. England went to Pakistan and India. They took over, a time came they had to go. They tried to destroy Islam fully in India before they left. Go today in India and you will still see Islam. You will hear of the Hindu government trying so hard against the Muslims. Against the Muslims means Islam is still there. How hard? You will hear China against the Muslims. Against the Muslims means they're still surviving. The last 100 years they will say being oppressed. In 100 years they're still there. But this is that ghalba of Islam Allah Tabaraka has given. That when you never expect them to rise, there will always be a Badr. لِيَهْلِكَ مَنْ هَلَكَ عَنْ بَيِّنَةٍ وَيَحْيَى مَنْ حَيَّ عَنْ بَيِّنَةٍ وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَسَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. That was just a few points on the Battle of Badr. Inshallah in the future we will discuss more on the Battle of Badr. But as I mentioned, Badr was not one battle. It was a message to the world. That when Allah's decision comes, then a small group will take over the mighty. The biggest of leaders will come. One camel's head will be slaughtered and the blood will hit everyone. Allah Tabaraka Ta'ala made it happen in the past and Allah Tabaraka Ta'ala will continue letting it happen till the end.